guys, so today I thought I would take you through my DS games collection. I thought that this would be an interesting way for you guys to get to know a little bit more about me and the type of gamer that I am. So for those of you who don't know, I have had a DS console ever since 2006 with the release of the original Nintendo DS, and since then I've accumulated quite a lot of games, and being the nerd that I am, I've kept every single game case that I've ever gotten, and I keep them all in this huge box which I keep under my bed. And yeah, so I don't really know what order I'm going to do this in. I do have my box arranged in the order that I think that I got all of these games in, and so I guess we just go down the list. So the very first game that I think that I got for my DS was Nintendogs, and I think that this is the game that everyone gets when they first get a DS, and the version that I got was Dash Hound and Friends. And yeah, this game's kind of perfect if you kind of have a pet yourself, because they're like virtual dogs, and it basically is just that. It's like a really good pet simulator type thing, and as a 8-year-old, I think I was very responsible with my Nintendogs. Okay, so the next game that I have is Bomberman, and I don't actually think I have this game anymore. I think I gave it away to someone else, and honestly, this was my childhood. I never played the story mode in this game, so I don't know what that's like, but I do remember that I used to always play this with my brother, and we would connect, and we'd just like do the team battle thing. We used to set the handicap up like really high, so you would get these insane bombs that just exploded all over the field, and it was kind of crazy. Okay, so the next two games I'm going to talk about together because they are part of the same game series, and that is the brain training games for the DS. I am obsessed with the brain training games. I literally play these all the time, and I still play them now, and I don't know what it is about them. I just really love them. It made me feel good that I could do simple mental arithmetic, and I also really love the Sudoku in the game. So I don't actually remember when I got this game. All I remember is that it was one of my very first DS games, and that is Animal Crossing Wild World. Literally, this is what started my Animal Crossing obsession. I fell in love with it the very first time that I played it, and since then Animal Crossing has stuck with me forever, and I literally have this game in all forms. I have the DS game, I have the 3DS game, which I'll show a little bit later, and I also have the GameCube version on my computer. I just really love Animal Crossing, and so I'm so glad that this was given to me when I was younger, because otherwise I would have never known the wonder that is Animal Crossing. So definitely one of the best games that I've ever gotten. The next game that I have is the Chronicles of Narnia game, and this was to go along with the movie that came out forever ago, and honestly, I hated this game so much, and I think it's just because I could never get past playing like the first 15 minutes of the game. It was just a horrible game for me because I'm not really one to like be into this kind of thing. Like, I like the movie Chronicles of Narnia, but like the game just wasn't that good for me, and so I never really played it. Okay, so the next game that I have is Super Princess Peach, and this is basically Super Mario, except you're playing as Peach for the first time, and I thought this game was really adorable. However, again, I didn't really understand the concept of it because you kind of had like Peach's emotions at the bottom, and you could kind of use them to like further your progress in the game, but I was never very good at it, so I didn't really play this game a lot, and if I did play it, I usually only played like the first 3 or 4 levels because I wasn't that good at it. The next game that I have is again something that I really love, and it is the Sims 2 game for the DS. In this game you do have a storyline to follow, so it's not really a free play thing, but I still play this game, and basically you are a hotel manager, and every so often someone new will move into the penthouse, and you will have to complete goals to keep them happy. And I just really like this game, and I didn't actually complete it until last year, which sounds really bad, but there was just this one thing that I could never do in the game at all, and I finally was able to do it, and I finally beat the game, and that was a really great moment for me to finally complete this game after having it for so long. Okay, so moving on to another game series that I got for the DS, and that is the Tamagotchi Connection Corner Shop games. I have all 3 of them because they came out with 3 different games, and I really liked the Tamagotchi games, and that was mainly because they're basically just games that have a bunch of mini games within them. And obviously I was a huge fan of Tamagotchi in general when I was younger. I used to have so many Tamagotchis. So when they had a DS game, of course I had to get it, and y'all are probably thinking I'm crazy for buying 3 Tamagotchi games, but just wait till you see the other game series of the DS that I bought. The next game that I have is Bratz Forever Diamonds, and again this is kind of a random game that I got. I never actually really played this because I wasn't a fan of Bratz when I was younger, and also I didn't understand the objective of this game at all either, so I just never really played it that much. The next game that I have is Puyo Pop Fever, and I bought this one kind of randomly, but I actually did end up really liking it. However, I've only ever played it on easy because I could never get further than that. And yeah, it's kind of one of those games that once you've played it the whole way through once, you kind of don't want to go back to. And then we have another Mario game. This is the new Super Mario Bros. Game for the DS. And again, I was never very good at playing Mario games. I think I played this one until halfway through the second world, and then I just kind of gave up because I couldn't beat the boss. So definitely not the best Mario player in the world, but I do like this game because of the mini-game section. It's probably one of my favorite things about all the Mario games for consoles is that you have the little mini-game section that you play, and I was always really good at the mini-games, but I just was never very good at playing the actual platform game. Another game series that I bought into for the DS, which I'm absolutely in love with, is the Cooking Mama game series. I literally have every Cooking Mama game for the DS that there is. I have Cooking Mama 1, 2, and 3, and I have Gardening Mama, and I also have the Cooking Mama Hobbies and Fun game. I love the Cooking Mama games for the DS. I think they're so much fun, and I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I definitely love these games a lot. The only game that I didn't like in the Cooking Mama series was the Gardening Mama one, and I think that that's because it has a completely different layout from the other ones, and to me it's just not as fun. Not that like these virtual games are like really that much fun, but I mean, out of all of them I found that the worst to play. I have another pet simulator, which is Pony and Friends. Literally do not know when I got this or if I got it for myself or if it was a gift. This is a really random one. However, I don't mind it. I thought that it was a good game for what it was. Again, another game series that I bought into for the DS that I kind of liked was the Imagine series. I have Imagine Interior Designer, Imagine Teacher, Imagine Fashion Designer, and My Secret World by Imagine. So I definitely really liked the Imagine games. One thing I will say is that they're all very different. Like the way that they have decided to choose the interface and storylines for these games are all completely different. If I had to say anything, I think that the Imagine Teacher one probably had the best sort of like design, I would say, of the game in total. Compared to the other Imagine games. And I have given all of these Imagine games, apart from the My Secret World game, away to my niece, because obviously once you play these games once, you kind of don't need to play them again. I do still have the My Secret World by Imagine game, and that one is a secret journal which you have in your DS, which I did really like at the time. However, there was a limit to how much you could write in your diary, which was kind of a bummer for me, but yeah, I still have that game, and I wonder if I can remember my passcode to get onto it, because it would be really interesting to go back and see what I used to write in my secret journal. Again, another series that I bought into for the DS, however this one should come as no surprise to you guys, and it is the High School Musical trilogy for the DS. Now, as you guys know, I was a huge High School Musical fan, so it should come as no surprise that I got these games. The first 2 High School Musical games sort of follow the same pattern in their gameplay. However, High School Musical 3 completely changed the game, and it was probably my least favorite out of all of these DS games. Basically what I like about these games is that they're High School Musical. They have the songs from the movies and they have the characters from the movies, so it was kind of just a win-win for me. On top of my Sims addiction, I also bought these spin-off Sims franchise games. I have My Sims, My Sims Kingdom, and Sim City for the DS, and honestly, not a fan of Sim City for the DS. I don't know what I was thinking in buying this, but it definitely isn't that good for the DS. Since then, again, I have seen the PC version of the game and I do think I'd like that a lot more, but the DS version of it is pretty bad and the graphics are terrible, so definitely wouldn't recommend the SimCity game. On the other side of that, you have the My Sims games, and these I liked quite a lot more. The My Sims and My Sims Kingdom games are similar. However, I think in My Sims Kingdom there's a lot more that you can do in it. I have another Mario game, and that is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. And this game I actually quite liked, and is probably the only Mario game I would consider myself good at, apart from Mario Party, but that's a whole other thing. So yeah, I did like the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Also, before you performed an event, you would also be made to clap into the microphone of your DS, and that was terrible for me because obviously if you guys have ever played a DS, you know the microphone is not the most sensitive thing in the world, so it was really hard to recognize when you were clapping into it, and again, that wasn't one of my favorite things about the game, but as a game on the whole, I did tend to like it quite a lot. The next game that I have is Build-A-Bear Workshop for the DS. Now, I think I got this around the time that I got my real-life Build-A-Bear, so that's probably why I got it. Honestly, this was kind of weird. This allows you to make like a life-size version of Build-A-Bear, and the Build-A-Bear comes to life and you get to play mini games with it. And again, we have another DS game series because I love DS game series, and that is the Hannah Montana games for the DS. Again, along with my High School Musical obsession, I also really liked Hannah Montana back in the day. So I have the first Hannah Montana game, Hannah Montana Music Jam, and the Hannah Montana movie game. All of these games I think are kind of similar, or at least the Music Jam and the movie one are. The very first Hannah Montana game is kind of weird, but it's kind of like a hidden object type thing. I don't know, I kind of like the storylines for the Hannah Montana games. The next DS game that I have is Diner Dash for the DS, and I love the Diner Dash games. I bought all of the apps for my iPod. I love the PC game. Diner Dash is definitely one of my all-time favorite games, so when I saw the DS game, I had to get it. Another game that I think follows the same lines as Diner Dash, and that's why I like it so much, is the Cake Mania games. Again, I have the game on my iPod, and I've tried the PC version, and I didn't even take the stickers off this one. But yeah, I really like these games. Again, time management games. I have the first one and I have the second one. Another game that I forgot to mention while I was talking about Sims 2 games is The Sims 2 Castaway, and this is one of my favorite games for the DS. I still play this game. I really love the storyline of The Sims 2 Castaway. Basically, you're washed up on an island and you have to survive there, and you do tasks for random people that you find on the island, and that's basically it. Another spin-off Sims game, but obviously because it's Sims, I love it. Another random game that I have for my DS is Bust a Move. I don't really remember how I discovered this game, but I love it. This is the original Bubble Witch saga, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen that advertised, but it's basically the same thing as that, and I really love it. However, I never really played this DS game. I don't think that it was a very good DS game, but I love like the layout of it. I love the little dinosaur people. Okay, so I don't really know what possessed me to get this game, but I have the Scrabble DS game, and honestly, I am terrible at Scrabble, so I don't know why I thought I'd be good at this game. I've tried to play this so many times, but I suck at it so bad, and I think it's just because I'm a really bad Scrabble player to begin with. So heads up, if you're not a good Scrabble player, do not buy a Scrabble game for your DS, because it just will not go well. Okay, so moving on to the final DS games that I have, and then I'll talk about the very few 3DS games that I have. This one is Style Boutique for the DS, and I found this one randomly, and I fell in love with this game. If you guys are looking for a fashion game for the DS, definitely this one, because it is so good. Basically, in this game, you run your own boutique, and you have to help customers buy clothes, and you get to buy clothes, and you get to dress your character in clothes. Basically, if you love fashion, this is the game for you. And finally, the very last game that I have for my DS is Professor Layton and the Curious Village. So this is the very first game in the Professor Layton series, and I thought that one Christmas I could sit and play my way through all of the Professor Layton games, and that didn't happen. This is the only game that I have and the only one that I think I will ever get. Okay, so moving on to the 3DS games that I have, and don't worry, I don't have as many 3DS games as I have DS games. I actually found it really hard to find 3DS games that I like, but I have managed to pick up about 4 or 5. And the first game that I got for my 3DS, surprise surprise, is Animal Crossing New Leaf. This is the sole reason why I got my 3DS, and honestly, I'm obsessed with it. If you guys are looking for an Animal Crossing game, I recommend this one. It is such a step up from all the other Animal Crossing games, and I love it so much. Another game that I have for my 3DS is Nintendogs. Again, not very different from the other Nintendogs games, however this one does include cats. So if you guys are looking for cats as well as Nintendogs, this is the game for you. Another game that I have for my 3DS, which is again a sequel from the DS game, and that is Style Boutique. Definitely love this game 100%. Again, if you guys are looking for a fashion game, definitely get this one. And finally, the last 2 games that I have for my 3DS are Pokemon games. I have Pokemon X and I have Pokemon Omega Ruby, and this is the fancy Omega Ruby case that I like to use rather than the normal game case. And yeah, in both of these games I've completed the league, I've completed the second stories if they have them, and I'm now working towards completing my Pokedex to collect all, how many ever Pokemon there are now. Literally don't even know how many Pokemon there are now. There are literally so many, but I'd rather just prefer to stick to my 151 if that's alright with you guys. And so guys, that was it for my DS game collection. I know this was a super long video, but I have a lot of DS games. And yeah, so I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments below what your favorite DS game is. I have to say that my favorite DS game would definitely be Animal Crossing. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with it. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mainly, I would say Pretty Little Liars and Sims and Twitter. What other fandoms? I don't really know. I guess mainly Pretty Little Liars and Sims and The Amazing Race, because I've like literally started to really become obsessed with that as well.